Venezuela, I'm Venezuelan. People are criticizing Trump for what he did in Venezuela. They say he bombed and kidnapped our president. No. Let me be clear. That man was never our president. He is a dictator. We didn't vote for him. Our elections were stolen. And when we protested, our kids were sent to prison. Minors were tortured. Girls were forced to prostitute themselves in prisons just to get food, to get a piece of bread. And where were all of you then? Where were all of you, liberals? Where were all of you? Where were all of you? You said nothing. You did nothing. But now you suddenly care about international law? I mean, now you all talk about human rights? Maduro didn't lead Venezuela. He kidnapped an entire country.
Could somebody explain to me why Americans are pissed off that Trump went into Venezuela and got Maduro out when the Venezuelan people are in the streets celebrating that Maduro is out?
Huevo, qué locura. Moscaí. Mira esa mierda, explotaron allá toda esa mierda porque tú no estás explotando.
Mierda, marico, se prendió el peo en esa mierda, ¿oyó?
Huevo.
Marico, llegamos a tiempo a la casa, ¿oyó?
Marico, mira esa mierda.
Yo, so I'll be back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and that video right there was the United States military ground bombing Venezuela, capturing Maduro. As you seen, or you see right here, this nigga's in custody. I've been listening to the NPR station all weekend. Now, according to them, Maduro was elected unofficially. He became a dictator of the country, hoarding the resources, doing all types of lewd and lascivious shit. And they alleged that he was trafficking cocaine, which is crazy because the Caribbean, around the Caribbean island or sea is not where people traffic cocaine. There's too many customs, DEA agents, Coast Guards, all types of shit, right? So they threw some shit on him. Not only that, the dude that they claim he was supplying cocaine with, Trump just pardoned him for prison. So they surmised that this whole hoopla in the media about Trump bombing drug ships or boats coming across trafficking cocaine to America, and he'd been bombing drug dealers as opposed to arresting them. While that might have been the case, that's not the case of him actually invading Venezuela. According to sources, all the news sources, actually Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world, holding roughly 17% of the global total. President Trump says the USA intends to take control of that.
Speaking of Venezuela, oil, what are we going to do with the oil that we have?
Going to do with what?
The oil that has been seized. The United States seized 1.9 million barrels of oil on December 10th.
We're going to keep it.
So this is George Bush 2.0, right? George Bush Jr. 2.0. Of course, Donald Trump had to jump into the melee. The peace in the Middle East back in the 90s, it was Clinton. Before him, it was George Bush Sr. He did the same thing Donald Trump did with Noriega. And then you had George Bush Jr., right? The war in Iraq, the war of Afghanistan. They wanted to steal oil reserves from Saddam Hussein and poppy seeds from Afghanistan to make opioids here in America. It's like classic shit, right? Steal the gold, or the god in other countries, right? The gold, the oil, or the drugs. Or you could take out that and replace it with diamonds if it's any parts of Africa, i.e. Nigeria. They're bombing them, claiming that they're persecuting Christians, which they probably are. That ain't why we over there. We getting the spoils of war, right? Diamonds, gold, shit like that, underneath all the minerals. So this dude, them actually arrested Maduro, which is crazy as fuck that they captured a sitting president, dictator, unofficially elected or not. It's crazy that they arrested this nigga and tried him with petty crimes like drug trafficking. When if my memory serves me correct, I could have swore that he was considered a diplomat, and diplomats get diplomatic immunity from like ordinary charges. Which, yes, from a president, drug trafficking or drug distribution will be considered an ordinary crime, right? Some shit the common man get charged with, not a president, not a person with diplomatic immunity. However, never let logic get in the way of a good scam. Now Trump is out here violating international law, constitutional law, and he just don't give a fuck. He John Wayne. However, there is a caveat to this. Even though what he's doing might be illegal technically, the people in Venezuela didn't like Maduro, so it works out. I think they might have asked, I think it was a liberal Democrat, she was on the NPR station, and it was like, yo, considering the fact that what Donald Trump may be doing is illegal, the people of Venezuela didn't like Maduro. To which she had no rebuttal. It makes sense. If the people don't like you, even if the dude doing the bad shit is helping you out, like, and it works for you, the fuck we care? Like, and the only people that think what he's doing is the only people that think that what he's doing is illegal and wrong and have something to say about it are politicians and media pundits. But the people of Venezuela, for the most part, he was the dictator. And he was keeping 50% of the population in poverty. Women was having to prostitute for food. And I remember 2018, 19, some shit like that. The price of bananas was like $27 a pound. I met two girls from Venezuela here in the States, and they couldn't speak a lot of English, but from what I gathered, they were pretty. What I gathered is that they was probably on the verge of having to do some lewd lascivious shit to eat. So they came here to the States, right, on a visa. Now, since then, they probably been shipped back, right? Because they was here on a work visa. I don't know if they got that shit processed and they were only here by themselves. They didn't have their parents. But yeah, the people didn't give a fuck. He was doing them dirty. Not only that, if what they're saying that he was trafficking cocaine and distributing shit, he was part of a cartel. Yeah, you gotta get that guy the fuck out of here. People didn't care. Even though I hadn't seen too many pictures of Maduro, and from what I did see, he looked too fucking old to be a drug dealer. But hey, never let logic get in the way of a good scam. A man probably was one of them old 1980s drug dealers, right? So yeah, the people didn't care, and they glad he the fuck out of there. So me personally, once again, I'm a black man. This shit ain't got nothing to do with me. I mean, is it illegal? According to international law, technically, yes. Does it affect me as a black person? Not really. Do I give a fuck? Not really. People out here talking about, if he does something like that, he can do something to black people. What the fuck they gonna do to black people they ain't did yet? Not only that, right? Donald Trump strikes me as a nigga that has more important things to do than to pester black people. If he could put up a bullshit story that they going up to Venezuela so they can get get a presidential dictator / drug dealer off the streets and covertly stealing his oil reserves, hey, I highly doubt that he's on some shit like, yo, let's get the black people. It's fucking stupid. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with it. I even told somebody on social media, keep doing your thing, Donnie boy. We support you, my nigga. He getting that fucking trash ass coke cut with Fenty off the streets, and he get more oil. I mean, we got oil reserves here in the country, but we ain't using that shit. We want to use they shit. We like Debo.
What you got my 40, homie?
I thought you had $200.
I do. But I want to spend Red's money.
Fuckers is like, yo, I thought you had oil. I do got oil, but I want to use Red's oil. So yeah, like this is what like this is the old play. This is only new to like this is only new to like people in their 20s, Gen Zs. This is not new. If you're over the age of, if you're 35 and older, you've seen this shit, right? The Iraq War. If you were born in the 80s or 90s, 70s, 60s, you've seen the Chilean president get assassinated and replaced, right? We call it a puppet government. This isn't new, bro. This is like same game, different players. So the fact that they on Trump ass about this shit, this is stupid. It's actually redundant because this is what our country does. We're part of the imperialism. I ain't gonna say we, America. The white man that like rule this country, run the country, they're imperialists, right? We steal from, we conquer, divide, and we go in there and crack shit up, and we steal resources, right? Because like, let's be realistic. It takes cobalt and coltan to make your cell phone, and gold and silver, and sometimes platinum if you got an iPhone. Where the fuck you think they getting that from, right? Plastic is made, like a lot of products are made with petroleum, which is a byproduct of oil. People got cars. Where the fuck you think you getting that shit from? None of that shit is indigenous to America. So we gotta steal it. It gotta come from somewhere, right? I don't know what to tell you. And while I'm not entirely with it, as an American, we're complicit, because like, unless we overthrow this government for doing shady shit like stealing resources from other countries, we just as wrong. And knowing that fact, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna keep it 100. For the people that's foreigners, I do not necessarily support it, but I'm only one man, and most people in America ain't trying to start a revolution. So then there's that. So forgive me in advance. In any event, if y'all like this episode, you know what to do, and I'm out.